Hello and welcome back to This Week in Gwent. As always, we have a guest, and this week we have... Now, can I pronounce this properly? Is it Peluchon? Or how do you say it properly?
Yeah, no, it's not Pelucon. It's Peluchon.
Peluchon, okay. And you have a
Yeah,
puppet with you also.
yeah, it's Peluchito.
Peluchito, nice. Peluchito because he's like pequeño, right? So he's small.
Yeah, because he's little.
Oh,
He's a little
nice.
version of me.
Nice. Cool stuff. How are you doing, my friend?
Uh, I'm super happy. You have no idea how happy I am.
I'm I
So
was
yeah,
I
I'm
was
super
saying
excited too.
Yeah, I was saying off screen that I'm really happy that you reached out, that you want to be part of Twig, and that's kind of to everybody who's watching and who's kind of thinking like, should I come on Twig or not? It's like, you can just hit me up and say like, hey, I want to come on Twig, and then we'll make it happen. So it's very easy. Like, you don't need to do anything else. Just slide into the DMs. It can be on Discord, it can be on Twitter, it can be anywhere that is most convenient for you. So yeah, don't second guess it. Don't think about it. Just do it, because yeah, it's really cool to have different people from the community reach out and actually be part of this awesome show, which is Twig, which has evolved throughout the time that it has been here. So it used to be just me in these videos.
Is it Twig right now?
Oh man.
Over a year? More? I don't
No,
know.
no. I mean, the videos that we had were like, I think it started, I don't know, 2017 or 18 even. Like when
Okay.
before the pandemic, like we still, but it was different format. So it was more, in the format where I was just in front of a camera very quickly saying like what happened during the whole week in Gwent. So it wasn't something that, that I did with
The
guests.
news of Gwent of something
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. It was just a short snippet of everything that happened throughout the week. So yeah, that also kind of changed throughout time, and yeah, now we are where we are.
Now I am here.
Yes, now you're here.
Can I make a shout out to
Of
the
course,
Spanish community?
of course.
Hey, hola a todos, aquí estoy. I don't know if you know Spanish a little bit.
Yo hablo un poquito, sí.
That's very good. That's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good.
yeah. That's all you get out of me. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's fine.
I used to learn a little bit of Spanish. So yeah, like hola, ¿qué tal? Stuff that I still remember is like ¿Dónde está la gasolinera? And stuff like that, so I can get to the gas station. So like the basics, but yeah, it's I know how to go and order a sandwich and stuff like that. So I'm pretty much okay.
You
Um,
start in Latin America.
yeah, I think it's more or less enough. Okay, before we get to you, I only have one news for this week, which is the fact that the bridge on the Yaruga board is back. Same with Gascon, they're back in the shop. So if you don't have them, you can get them from the shop and add them to your account. So easy clap. That's it. That's it. It's been a quiet week. What I can also tell you is the fact that we recorded with Jean the pre-final, not pre-final segment, because there's no open yet. Open is next month, but we recorded the developer update for update 10.9, which is coming on Tuesday, and on Monday we'll have patch notes and we'll have that video drop. So that's ready. So for those of you waiting for the update, everything will become clear very, very soon. So yeah, that's
The
it.
update will come on Wednesday or
Tuesday.
Thursday? Okay.
Tuesday. We always do Tuesdays. We normally do Tuesdays. If we can't do Tuesdays, we normally do Thursdays. Wednesdays, we never, I think, did, but we always try to stick to having everything done on a Tuesday. This is just much more convenient and also much easier to fix things on a Tuesday once something launches. So, there's just more time before the weekend.
Yeah, problems happen
Yeah,
every time.
exactly. All right, my friend, tell me, when did you discover Gwent?
It was quite recently. I don't know if you can call it recently. It was in 2020
Mm-hmm.
with the pandemic
Okay.
because I played The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
So inside of the game, there's Gwent.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, is this game like a game? Like not inside a game? And I found out that it was a game called the Gwent, the Witcher game.
Yeah.
So I reach out to this is as well as this is a partner from the Spanish community.
Mm-hmm.
He's maybe you know him. It's called Aforismos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was starting as well to stream
Yeah.
because he already played, but he was starting to stream. So I come to his streams, and I was like, "Hey, do people play this game? This game has some kind of community
Yeah.
because most of the games don't have it,
Mm-hmm.
and it is I don't know. I think one of the things in the in the Went community is that the people are very they have plenty of people to watch it.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was like, hey, okay, I will give it a try. So he often rated me with his channel to my channel and said like, hey, why are you not playing Went? This is people from Went. And I was like, okay, I will try to be better and get into the game.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why. That's
Okay.
how.
So he kind of called you out to kind of come in and then like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
try it for yourself. Yeah, but you probably discovered very quickly, since you joined at a later time, that the game has changed a lot if you compare it to the game in The
Even
Witcher.
now, I remember the Went from 2020 to this Went now from 2022, and it's very different. It plays differently. And I think the learning curve, like how do you learn to play the game, is kind of, I don't know, it's more stabilized. It's not like a mountain to climb. You can get to learn it more easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like right now it's more in a stable state, I would say, because there were some moments in Gwen's history when we were kind of going through like, very big changes, and it was a lot of like back and forth, and I feel like we've gotten to a place where the meta and kind of the changes in the game are they're happening on a monthly basis, but they're much easier to follow because they're not like groundbreaking and they're not like rule breaking and changing everything within the game itself, but they're kind of more focused on changing the meta and not changing the rules, which is something that I feel like some players maybe they got tired of, because if everything was changing constantly in a big extent, then people were like, oh, I can't really follow, like 1 week or 1 month I'm playing, the other month I don't know what to play. Like these cards that I used to know, they changed, the interactions changed, and yeah, it's like it's a lot to take in as a player for sure.
I think the resource management has changed because back in the days I was like, hey, I have my resources to make one deck,
Mm-hmm.
and that deck won't play very well the next month. But okay, I will try to fix it. I will have few cards. So it was kind of difficult to make new decks every month. Now I think you can stick with one deck. Maybe it isn't that optimal in the next month, but you can play it and you can get your rank. You
Yeah.
can rank up.
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like there's a lot of decks that you can like totally keep on playing and rank up with them, and they will, most of them, unless it's a top tier decks, then they might get some tunes in between, like in between the months. But if it's like one of those decks that kind of is not top tier, then it will pretty much go into the next month, and you can still play it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, plus I know there's a lot of players that try to maybe sometimes stick to one deck or one specific faction and kind of just focus on that one and not, try anything else, which is totally okay. But there are, players who like to be playing something different every month. So every month they're kind of upping their game and changing things around, which is also like depending on what type of play style you have.
I usually don't play meta decks
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like them too much. I think I don't know. If you want to be a pro player, well, it's okay. You have to play it. You have to grind. You have to try hard and
Yeah.
everything else. I don't see myself as a casual gamer because I play a lot of Gwent.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like to always play one deck and stick to that. I used to, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I don't know. In May,
Yeah.
yeah, in May, more or less, I was about to drop Gwent. I was like, hey, I'm tired of the meta. I think I will go away because I can't handle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I went to Aphorismos again, uh, mostly for the last time in that moment. I was talking about it, and I was like, hey, what if we do a tournament? And he was like, okay, but he said, I wanted to be a meta tournament. I was like, ah, I'm tired of it. So when I was streaming, someone in my chat said like, "Hey, what don't you do a different tournament with a
Mm-hmm.
unique format and all of that?" And I was like, "Hey, what about a meme tournament?" And then I tried to make a meme tournament back in May. It started on June, and for me, it was like a discovery.
Yeah.
Uh, I, I was like, hey, I found a new way to play Went. It's not the optimal way, it's not the greediest way, but it's the fun way, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. I also enjoy, like, having the non-meta decks is kind of something that some people just kind of automatically direct more their attention to, instead of the, like, because I feel like the meta stuff is pretty much, the same thing, and it's like cookie cutter and everybody knows it. So it's much better to kind of bring something, you know something different, something that lets players discover, like, that there's more depth into the game itself than just playing these 100% really good decks. Because you will see those decks, like, you will see them in the competitive matches, but you don't have to, like, see them in every tournament that is happening. So whenever there's a tournament that has any, like, additional rules, or kind of like is mixing up the rules to make them a little bit different, then I think that's something that will draw players' attention a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, for now, I'm making the second edition of that tournament because it was like, I don't know, people didn't expect so much variety of the decks, so
Mm-hmm.
much difference between the decks, and a lot of archetypes that i- aren't that popular, but they exist in the
Yeah.
game. And now I have in my chat because I have. It's more like you have 32 decks,
Mm-hmm.
and they are randomized to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
so everyone gets to play at least three of them. But at first I was like, hey, maybe 32 decks, meme decks, will be so hard to get because we don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there is no so much, there is no much material to work on.
Mm-hmm.
But then I have more than 40 decks. People are like, hey, my deck went to the final cut. I was like, no, I'm sorry, your deck isn't there, but there is another. And and that is like, hey, I didn't know about that. You can be very creative with the tools.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, and people don't know that. People are afraid to look out for things.
Because I feel like is it's I feel it's because of the fact that a lot of people think that in order to play the game, like any card game, you, instead of having fun, you should be focusing more on the fact that you need to be, playing the best decks because you need to rank up as fast as possible. And it kind of makes sense because a lot of people have been saying this, but if you're playing on the ladder and if you're ranking up, you want to be playing the best decks. But when you get to a point where you want to, when you make it to pro rank, that's when you start playing all the fun, crazy decks because you're already in there. You're not dropping out of it in any way. So you're able to play all the meme decks. You're able to try like some decks which are maybe more combo oriented instead of these which are very like streamlined and very competitive.
I think one of the reasons that this has been, I don't know, a must is because um, I don't know, the events in the Went and also the tournaments in Went are all focused in playing the meta decks. Every tournament right now, instead of mine,
Hmm.
I believe, it's going to have four decks. That four decks are the meta of the meta, and everyone's played because they are super optimal. I don't know if they are fun. Maybe they are in the first, I don't know, 20 games, but
Yeah.
then you you get bored. So thinking outside that meta world,
Hmm.
it's kind of difficult because you don't have any places to look out for it. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have where to play it. I mean, you play it on ladder and you lose
Yeah.
because the deck is not optimal. You will lose. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you are going to play it, I don't know, you're going to a tournament, you can play it. I mean, you can play it, but you will lose again. You will lose again because everyone's going to play super hard, super try harding, and it's not like I don't know. Maybe you need something different. Maybe you need some spaces to play this, and people also will get something. I mean, you get happy.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I totally understand that you get happy, but in a sense that also you're trying something different instead of something which has kind of been already discovered, solved, and used. So there's no kind of I mean, of course, there are decks that maybe rely more on RNG, for example. So that kind of is something that influences the game to some extent. But we try to keep RNG to a certain like minimum, so it's not too much out of hand and stuff like that. So, I mean, I agree that it's much better just to play around with like the possibilities in terms of deck building and in terms of kind of what you want to play. Are you yourself a person that goes really into deck building, or you're more kind of getting ideas from others? Like what's the process for you?
I mean, I tried so many times to make my own decks. I failed so many times. I think because I don't know. I don't have the knowledge to make the deck building theory that Shimini says
Mm-hmm.
talk about a lot. I do ask most of my viewers to lend me some decks that they think they are memes and something like that. Yeah, I think I do that more. And maybe when I'm playing it, I was like, hey, I don't feel this card to be this good in this deck. Maybe you can, well, in my case, I will change it for another one. And they were like, okay, this is better than the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for example, I don't know, saying about the RNG, I always play this deck that is considered toxic. This is the meal deck. Yeah, people hate it so much. I don't know why. For me, it's like I don't know. It is the the top of the top of the meme decks because I don't know. People get mad. I mean, and they don't know how to deal with it. It's
Yeah,
like, hey, I'm playing a deck that is not supposed to win against you,
yeah,
and you are supposed to face it because it's like you need to embrace the possibilities of the meta.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I feel like I also don't understand like a lot of people saying that Mill is super difficult to go against. Is like, oh, I don't know how to beat this deck. Well, if you play properly, then you're able to overcome that deck easily because
Yeah.
there's only a certain extent to which you can be milled, but then still you know how to carry out your game plan, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Maybe people are used to play always against the same decks. That when they see something different, they are like, "Hey, I'm not ready for this." They are not in their comfort zone, so that's why people, I don't know, get mad. Don't be mad with the decks. This is just a game. It's just a deck. There are plenty
Yeah.
of possibilities.
Yeah, but also there's there is the aspect of going in in the ladder itself. So if you're playing on ladder, you want to perform, and if you're not performing and someone is stopping you or you're having a bad day, you instantly say, you pretty much always go against like the grain and say like, oh, it's that deck's fault, or it's that person's fault, or it's something like we tend to blame it on things that are kind of out of our reach because we think they're out of our reach, and we never like blame ourselves saying like, oh no, maybe I could have played better, or maybe I should learn how to play against this deck. I feel like a lot of people just should like try, mill for themselves in order to know how to play against mill, right? Because how else are you going to learn it if you don't play against it, right?
Yeah, totally. Because I think this is definitely good for the meta. If you are having such different kind of decks in the meta, you will not only think about how to beat the metagaming, but also how to beat other players. Because when I make this tournament, I believe that the players who won the tournament were not the players that know how to play against, but the players who know how to play optimal
Yeah.
with the decks they have. I mean, if you had a shitty deck, well, sorry for that. Well, you have to adapt to it,
Yeah.
and then you can play it against something else. I saw I have a friend playing in that, and he was like, "Hey, stop giving me the bad decks. I don't know how to win. I'm super afraid." And he was like, "Okay, I can give you that." And he was like, "Okay." And every time he got a bad deck, he won because he had to think more how to play it, how to play around, how to manage things, and not get frustrated because
Yeah.
that is kind of frustrating.
Yeah, yeah. I saw also someone in chat say that there is this kind of mentality that either a deck or is going to be competitive or it's going to be fun, and I feel like you can have both fun and competitive. And I also saw someone was mentioning Magpie, for example, and his Magpiles that he brings to tournaments. Like he goes against the grain and creates decks which on paper kind of maybe look that, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, or like I'm not 100% sold on this. And then when actually, when push comes to shove, like that deck performs super well. And it's not really, it's the pilot sometimes and not the deck itself.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do
I
you
think,
Mhm.
yeah. Ah, sure. Tell me.
Do you do
What are
you
you?
remember when you started playing Gwent and when you moved on to streaming? Like when did you decide to stream? Were you streaming content before Gwent, or was Gwent kind of the place where you started streaming?
Yeah. Well, I started streaming before,
Mm-hmm.
like in 2019.
Okay.
But I was like kind of lost. I was playing a lot of games that I was like, maybe I can go with this and that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
very hard to start in the streaming world. So yeah, when I was started streaming went at first it was like maybe I can give it a try. Maybe this is the way
Mm-hmm.
because for me went is a life changer. I mean, I didn't know how big was it in terms of I don't know. I in my streams I often like to read the chat, to be with the chat, to interact with the
That's
people,
really cool.
and that's the only thing it matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
And at first it was like, hey, maybe I can reach out to more people so I can talk to more people. And yeah, at first it was like, hey, you are playing this, you are new, blah blah blah. Then after I don't know 6 months in the
Mm-hmm.
game, I mean playing daily,
Mm-hmm.
I get to know a team. So the team was like, "Hey, do you want to be part of this and get to the community?" So when I get into the community of Gwent, I was like, "Hey, this is really big."
Yeah.
At least for me, it was like, "Wow, I didn't know." Because most of the top games, like have I don't know, 100 viewers,
Mm-hmm.
thousands and thousands. It was like most of people don't know that those games won't let you rise up in
Yeah.
the in Twitch at least because it is very hard. And for me, went like, okay. When I was about to quit, I was like, hey, I don't want to do this because I really love to engage with the community, to talk to the community. And most of my viewers are now my friends, are my partners in the team. And I think that is it.
Yeah.
That's why I tried to make this tournament right. And when I discovered this, I was like, hey, I'm going to do this again because I love the interaction. I love the format. I love everything. And the people were happy about it.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, what is going to happen tomorrow? And I was like, I don't know. We have to decide
Yeah.
and everything of that. Now, at first, it was like a tournament of two people, two friends. Now it's a tournament from two teams, my team, and I don't know if you know it, Bandit Gang
Yes.
team.
Band the
Uh,
gang. Yeah.
yeah, now I'm working with them, and it is fantastic because it's growing up. It's
Yeah.
like a little baby that is going up, and I think it will get bigger and bigger. And also, I invite all the people to watch the tournament, to see the different wind environment that we can have. Um, and yes, that thing it will matter for me.
Also,
And
for those tuning in, where can they watch the tournaments? Do you stream them on your channel?
yeah, I'm streaming daily
Mm-hmm.
for because of the tournament
Yeah.
because I want to everyone to know these meme decks. And also on September 8th, people can watch it. I will definitely make some announcements, maybe tag Went,
Good. Good.
and I don't know. We have a lot of people joining.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I didn't think so. I was like, "Hey, I don't think people like this. People like to try hard on that."
No.
And I don't know. 2 days ago, the tournament filled up, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, God,
Nice.
we made it. We definitely made it, and people will love it. We are making all the preparation to the
Mm-hmm.
show to be fantastic.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and I like the growing process. Like you say, you started with maybe a couple people, and now it's gone to there's a lot of people. And I feel like, the community that surrounds Gwent is something that I always have to mention. That is something that kind of keeps everything very nicely together. Like we know one another, and everybody's very kind to one another and helpful, and this creates this really cool environment that is also like very welcoming, especially to people who are coming into the game for the first time. They kind of know like, okay, this is a community in which people are actually helpful. They're helping out one another, but they're also helping new content creators, new streamers. Like whenever they want to play the game for the first time and experience it, they have the possibility of others kind of coming in and helping them, which is something that is, I feel like, very important.
Yeah, I remember streaming back in the days. Like I was like, okay, I don't know how to play this, and people were like, "Let me help you.
Yeah.
I will coach you how to play this, how to play these cards." And it was like for me, it was like from not knowing nothing,
Yeah.
like I was completely lost in the game, to be aware of many things that happens during a match. And I kept those learnings until now. I
Yeah.
remember all the people that helped me out.
Yeah.
It's good to have friends also. I mean, I didn't know about that, but if you have a team, if you have a full support of your friends, it is more easy to do things.
Yeah.
It is more easy to, I don't know, to organize events, to make someone to grow up in the Twitch community as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like it the most. The community of Gwent, I believe, is one of the most important things inside Gwent.
I
Uh,
agree. Yeah, it's something that I've kind of feel like I appreciate with every like passing year, that being part of this project for like, since the beginning. I've kind of noticed that the one thing that doesn't change is the fact that we always have a community that, is very, very helpful. Of course, like someone said in chat, there are people who maybe are less helpful, or maybe mean, or some people that are maybe toxic. But I feel like they kind of get to a point where they get so fed up with everything that they sooner or later probably just leave. And when that happens, you kind of you still have only the people who really are truly passionate about the game, who care about the game, and who want to pretty much keep the community going and keep helping one another, which is builds this camaraderie within the community, which is for me is just amazing. And I feel like it's Gwent community is like the best community that I got to work with, because everybody's just nice to one another and everybody's helpful, which for me is like just makes my job easier. That's one thing, but it also like you appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah, I know. Uh, I don't get why people get mad with the game. I've been in that position before. I was like, hey, it's the game's fault. But when you think about it and think more about what you are saying, you get to know that it's not the game.
Yeah.
It's you that, for example, for me, it was like it was me that I didn't see another thing outside the meta, and that was like, hey, you don't have to play it always like that.
Yeah.
People told me like, hey, why don't you make your own decks? Maybe you will have fun making those. I was like, no, I don't know, I can't do it. But now I have to think about it. I have to kind of be a deck tester, not like a good one, but but I try my best, and it is really fun. I
Yeah.
think I don't know. Maybe you should don't play so much one game.
Yeah.
That's always
Or just
like
change factions, change decks, try different things. Like try not to be, stuck to playing one thing. Oyerfeldy, thank you for the raid, by the way. So yeah, like just playing different stuff, trying different stuff, not being stuck. Like, okay, I only play this. End of story, right?
at first it's like you get to win more, and you like that. Like I like to win and win
Yeah.
and win and win. But then you realize that you don't need to win every time.
Yeah.
uh, you need to cool off and be calm and try to, I don't know. Yesterday I was testing a deck that has a card that is in meta for like over years. Like it's the Phoenix card.
Yeah.
I love the art.
Yeah.
It's
It's an
like one
amazing
of the
art.
amazing art. And it was performing well on ladder. I was like, why am I winning with this? And it is not because of the card. It's because people don't know how to play it.
Yeah.
And they are like scared. They don't know. I don't know. And it was like, hey, you need to focus and try new things. That's all. That's all. You will get in some point that nobody talked to you about that, but it's like you can do differently, and people will recognize that. People will love to see that, because also people get tired of seeing the same thing over and over.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like it's for any game that you play, that you try to play competitively, like it has a competitive aspect or has a ladder system attached to it. Like you will get a point to which you're kind of seeing like the first signs of potential burnout, where you're kind of like, okay, I had too much, I'm mad, I can't get through this, and you just want to like flip the table and say, okay, I'm done. But that's kind of it's not the way. Like the way is to kind of maybe try to distance yourself from it. Although I know, even from my experience, when I'm playing any game or card game, or even Gwent, if I'm playing on ladder, like I will get to a point where I also will get very, very mad, and it's something that you cannot stop, but you can learn how to counteract it and how to kind of work around it, instead of just being solely focused on, oh, this is not going my way, or I hate this deck, or it's not helping me, this sucks, and kind of changing that mentality and moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite, apart from Mill, of course, do you have a favorite archetype or favorite card, something that for you is like a must play in Gwent?
Yeah,
Or maybe it's just milled, and if it's milled, it's fine. We're not judging here.
I mean, Mill is my favorite deck above all, but I do like Scoia'tael's Symbiosis.
Good, good.
I think it has a lot of points, a lot of things going on. It's like, I don't know, it's like sparkling all around. You have lots of cards that are making noises and an animation. Is like, I don't know, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I remember this meta of Scoia'tael spell something something. It
Spellotel.
was like, yeah, Spelatael. Yeah, it was like, okay, I like this because it's, I don't know. You
I
have
also
so many
liked
interactions.
liked Spellotel because it was just something different. But the problem with that deck is that it's very control heavy, and it's it's built in such a way that you're not really putting a lot of points on the board. You're getting rid of points on your opponent's side. So a lot of a lot of people did not like that because they wanted the interactivity which this deck was kind of lacking, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's I beat that position too. Like, hey, I want to play too. I want my points in my board too.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I think my favorite faction is Scoia'tael.
Hmm.
I like this trap deck.
Yeah. It's also
No
unique and
units.
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no units trap decks. It
Hmm.
is super toxic because people are like, hey, I want to play something. I want to get value from my cards. I like, no, no, you get burned.
Yeah. 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 So I feel like you like the more unique play styles than the ones that kind of rely on units and engines and stuff like that. So pretty much decks that play in a different way. And I feel like if something plays in a different way than what we are used to as players, then we tend to brand those decks like toxic. I know I'm not, for example, I don't like Cthulhu's decks, for example, but I appreciate the deck and kind of how it works. I appreciate the how it works and what it does, but maybe necessarily I'm not happy to go against it and lose against it unless I learn how to play against it. So once I know how to play against it, then I'm kind of like whatever, right? Because I know what to do. And sometimes even if I lose against it, it's fine because it's kind of something that you said before. Like it's just a game, right? Like we need to be aware of that.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of sad that you can play memes. Uh, you can go full memes to, I don't know, to rank up and something like that. For me, it's like sad because I really wish to the deck to be more optimal,
Mm-hmm.
but it is just like, if this is optimal, then people will complain and people will get mad because, hey, I don't like to play this. Where is the meta? Blah blah blah. And I was like, I really wish. I don't know. Maybe you can talk to someone that put more. I don't know, more. I don't know, events of Gwent that are not like meta
Mm-hmm.
events. I will call that way.
Yeah.
Something like that, because I really wish to have some more spaces outside of this tournament that I'm making. But yeah, more places to people to play with fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was discovering new memes, new interactions, all the interactions that doesn't play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That can happen too. Maybe
Yeah.
someday.
Yeah. The thing is though, if you think about it, if you want to keep like esports and the esports integrity, you kind of are more focused on the best players playing the best decks and kind of everything that is like fully optimized, and that shows kind of that the game has this high skill level, while at the same time has, because it's very hard to find like the middle ground before being competitive and also being fun. Like you can have both, but it's a very tricky combination, right?
Yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
someday my
yeah.
tournament will reach out to Went.
Of course.
and people in the
Totally.
world, hey,
Totally.
that is a good idea. Yeah,
Yeah, I
maybe in
feel
the
like,
future.
yeah, it brings a lot of, like, you know, something different, something more fresh, let's say, or something that is, not what players are normally used to, because, and I also feel like it's slowly happening not only within Gwent, but also on different card games. And I've also seen that, when it comes to like Magic, which I also play, a lot of people have been, going more towards being less competitive and playing Commander, for example, which was originated as something that was played by, on the kitchen table, and then it became a mode which was taken up by Wizards of the Coast, and they kind of made a whole thing out of it. So it also is, a deck can only have one copy of each card. Each deck has 100 cards, so it's a special rule set just for it. So I mean, in this one, it's more open to players just having fun and finding like crazy interactions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think. How is the feedback between Went and Magic? I think most of the mechanics and types
It's
of
a
games
different
come
game.
from that.
It's a different
Yeah, but you
game.
see some archetypes. Yeah.
The only
We have.
thing, it's
I
very,
saw
mhm.
Mill in in Magic
Yeah,
once.
mill is prevalent in any card game, to be honest. Like finding a way to mill your opponent is what people will look for, because it's a I feel like it's, Magic has been known for it, but I feel like there is probably, it's something that is in Hearthstone, Runeterra, and any other card game, like, but I feel like it's very hard to compare Gwent to the rest of them, because we don't have like a system of units which have power and toughness, and there's no, attacking your opponent, so going face, as it's called. There's no mana system, so the whole, like gameplay aspect of it is totally different, and that's what kind of makes Gwent unique in this sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I tried to play Magic, but I don't know when this for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, it's more of what we kind of played first, or maybe something that we're more kind of drawn to because of the it has something that speaks to you more. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can I show again
Yeah, yeah.
the puppet,
Of
because I
course.
think people will love to see it
Yeah,
now,
there
right
there were
now.
some questions about him.
Okay. I want to say hi, Peluchito. Hi, people. I'm not his little brother. I'm himself, but little. Bye, people. Okay.
You're very well known in the Spanish community. Like there's a lot of people that know you and like you. Um, how long did it take you, more or less, to kind of build this loyal community around yourself?
Mm, yeah, it was like, I think. Hmm. Yeah, over a year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
After a year, I become more known by all the teams, because that's the way that you get to know to each other. Like
Yeah.
most of the people know the teams before the
Mm-hmm.
player.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe that. And also after I was in a team, I was like, hey, let's do something. I Some people say that I'm kind of a clown in my streams because I do a lot of stuff. I do cosplay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
did
I saw.
cosplay. Yeah, yeah. And did you saw the cosplay?
Yeah, it's on your channel. Like, so I
Yeah,
saw you have a different look for each and one of them. So that means that probably you're mixing stuff up and making like these cosplays and stuff like that, which is really cool, because it just pretty much brings more entertainment factor into the stream itself, because it shows off your personality, but also shows off that you can have fun and you're not that you're not the type of person that is very concerned, like, I need to look always the same way. I need, my hair needs to be perfect. I need to be having the perfect like setup, the perfect lighting and all that. But you can just
Put
kind of
up.
do, whatever you
Yeah.
want, right?
Yeah, I know. I love to stream. I really like to engage to people. It's one of the things that moves me. And I'm like, hey, I wanted to give them a good show, a good talk sometimes. Good music also, because I listen to a lot of music in my streams.
Nice. What's your
And
favorite type of music, by the way?
it depends on the
Mm-hmm.
mood. If I'm feeling happy, well, some indie rock. If I'm
Oh, okay.
feeling yeah, if
Good,
I'm
good.
feeling, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is a wide range of music. For example, some people think that because I'm using this poncho,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to call it. It's like, I don't know, something you put on your head.
Yeah.
Um, some people believe that I only like, I don't know, native music. I don't know how to call it
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Like
yeah,
folk music, right?
yes,
Yeah.
something like that. I do like that music, but also I like other kind of music. Something, I don't know. I would say rock is my favorite music, but
Same.
yeah,
I like, if I had to choose, like, I will always go to the direction of rock music, but I am not the type of person that says, only rock music, won't listen to anything else, like whatever. No, it's always trying to listen and play different stuff. And also like playing different music on stream, which is not, of course, it needs to like go with the rules so you don't get a DMCA strike or anything like that. So,
yeah.
I mean, you can pretty much go crazy and kind of see also what your viewers like and what your community likes, because I feel like that is also very, very important.
Also have this as SR that you
Mm-hmm.
can put your own music. Yeah,
Yeah.
I found some interesting stuff in my stream because of that. People have already, I don't know, they have good taste
Mm-hmm.
in the end. Most of the times they are not good, the songs, but yeah, sometimes they are good. And you add, hey, I'm going to add this.
Yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, I feel like music here is very, 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 very important to keep kind of, the engagement and also the interest of some people, because sometimes you just go into a stream, you're like, oh, I know that tune. I'll just stay here and kind of listen to it. Someone also in chat said that you're very charismatic when it comes to like your streams and stuff like that. That's why they kind of enjoy it. So I feel like, with you kind of doing all the cosplays, and I also feel like you're a very kind person and very understanding. That's kind of the vibe that I get off of you. I think that is kind of what gets
Made a
people.
song.
You made a song?
Yeah. About this card, Caltulis.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a time when I played this before, way before it was a meta deck.
Mm-hmm.
It was like more like a toxic deck
Mm-hmm.
because you get rid of everything in the other board.
Yeah.
You know, I like
Yeah. Yeah.
that. And it was like people were like, I don't know, going crazy with that deck and were like, hey, you should play it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, what about if I made a song about it? I won't
Okay.
play it here because it's like too cringe, but I did make a song.
Okay. Okay. I need to check that out then, because I haven't seen that, to be honest.
Okay, well, you better not.
Too late. You already talked about it, so now it's out there. It's out there, and people are gonna
So
find it and they're gonna
people
listen
will
to
ask about it. Yeah, I will
it.
upload.
Awesome. Do you have any tips for people who would like to start maybe streaming themselves? Like, if someone is starting out, I know we're kind of past the pandemic more or less right now, but who knows, maybe it will come back because we live in a very crazy time right now. But if someone is starting out,
It is all all normal right now. I don't
yeah,
know why.
yeah, we'll see for how long though. So if someone is starting out, like, what would you say, how to start, in your opinion?
Yeah. Uh, Well, it depends on the game. If you're playing Went, well, it is more like you need to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main advice. You need to be consistent on playing the game and streaming, of course. Also, I don't know, try to read the chat. I think most of the streamers don't read the chat. That's something crazy for me. It's like, hey, people are talking to you because they want to know to you. They want to say something to the world. And it's like I don't know. Yeah, read the chat. That's a very unique suggestion.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. Don't be afraid to stream. I remember Aforismos back in the day. He was like, "Hey, I don't know if people are going to see me. I don't know. I'm not that good. I'm not good as I think I am. Hey, people don't like my humor, for example, because there are different kinds of, I don't know, personalities in the world." And he was like, "Hey, I'm not funny like you, Peluchon. Maybe people don't like that." And I was like, "Hey, I do like your streams, and it is not because of the game itself, because it is because of you. You are making the game fun. You are making the stream fun, being your own. So yeah, be as authentic as you can, because people love that. People love the unique person that most of the people are. I mean, everything is different. Everyone is different, and yeah, I mean, don't be afraid of it. I think I know it's weird at the beginning. I remember my first streams. I was like nervous because even if
Yeah, it
one
is.
person look at you,
It is
it
very,
is,
it's very
yeah.
hard to start because you need to be aware that you have a camera pointed at you, and then you might have people coming in. When you're starting off, there's really not a lot of people like watching, and but still, like if someone comes to your chat and is kind of looking at what you're doing, you're kind of feeling that, okay, that person might be judging me in some way. You're kind of, you're kind of second guessing if I should be, talking about this or that, or are people enjoying what I'm saying, and am I just making a fool of myself? Like, there's a lot of thoughts that kind of go through your mind, and I feel like what you said is very important. Like, you need to be like genuine, you need to be yourself, and you will draw in people who kind of vibe with that, and they will kind of stay with you and kind of listen to what you have to say, and kind of start becoming part of your own like community there.
Yeah, you know something? I didn't know this because Twitch, I don't know, 3 months ago, uh, it has I don't know, you know what, why people are watching your stream. And for me, it was like, it is funny for me because it was like people watch your stream because they are depressed. And I was like, at first, was hey, what? But now I think, yeah, I know people are sad. They maybe have a rough day.
Yeah.
They are, I don't know, having trouble with, I don't know, whatever. Living is
Yeah,
like
life is
a
hard.
nightmare.
Yeah, life is hard.
And when you get to a stream that you can laugh, that you can, I don't know, see different things as well, I think that is good for you, and people like that also. People, I need some rest of their lives sometimes. And that is a big responsibility
Yeah.
for you as a streamer, because, and that's why I that's my second advice. If you are not feeling well with yourself as a streamer, don't stream it, because people, uh, I don't know, people want to see you and want to see you well
Yeah.
and want to see you happy. If you are sad, if you are angry, I don't know, people don't like that. I don't like to watch streamers get mad easily, because I think that is toxic, for example.
Yeah, but some people like angry streamers or people who rant a lot because they kind of they really vibe with that because they have the same type of personality, and I feel like maybe that works, but in the long run, it maybe it's just too much negativity being thrown like both ways. And when streaming, you should kind of be helping others to maybe it also depends what people are kind of what they're coming for, like if they're coming for entertainment, relaxation, chilling, watching some gameplay, learning something about the game, and if it's like a very chill vibe, that's fine. But there are streamers like Shinmiri, for example, that people come for analysis, for good decks and stuff like that, but also a nice environment in which they're able to comment, they're able to ask questions. The interaction is going both ways. So it's not just one
It's
person
funny too.
sitting and doing is doing their thing, is streaming, and it's like whatever. I don't care about like what's happening in chat. But you need to be interacting with everybody to
Yeah,
kind of
you have
know.
to be aware of why people are seeing you. Yeah, I know plenty of streamers that are angry and people are going for that stream just for that, for
Yeah.
just being angry and breaking stuff. Yeah, I totally get. But I was talking about like if you are a streamer that are always happy, for example, or maybe you are always chilling, and then someday you are like, no, I don't know, go through depression or something happen, something bad happen. You should, I don't know, as a streamer, you should think about that and be aware of that. Maybe you don't need that. You
Mm-hmm.
need to cool off, and then you stream with all of your energy
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. Just accumulate that energy and then use it later on. Okay, we've been running to over an hour. I just wanted to ask you, we try to keep this in around an hour. Like, what are the next steps for you as a streamer content creator? Like, what do you want to do next apart from continuing doing the meme tournaments and streaming the game? Like, what are your plans moving forward?
Part of being in Twig. um, I don't know. I will nowadays. I'm focusing more in making this kind of events,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, to bring in people something that they will like, but they are not used to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think most of that in my streams. Well, I always tend to I don't know bring new things. Bring I don't know. For example, this puppet right here.
Yeah.
I get it from like I don't know 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, something like that. I hope people get to understand that I do put a lot of work in my streams, even if I sometimes be toxic with meal and these kind of things. I do like to have people in my chat. I love to talk to them, and yeah, I think my next step is I don't know, reaching more people, to
Nice.
know more people from both Spanish, English, and maybe another language that I don't know. Yeah, I think, and also thank you for this opportunity. For me, it
My
was
pleasure.
like, for
Really,
me, it
really,
was
my
like,
my
I don't know.
pleasure, and also thank you for reaching out and wanting to participate. Because I said this in the beginning of the stream, and I also say it right now. Like, if you want to come on Twig, just let me know. Just don't be afraid. Reach out. Write to me on any social media that you use yourself, and just say like, hey, by the way, I heard that you have guests on Twig. I would like to be a part of it, and that's it. Easy. And then we're all friends, and we're all here talking about Gwent. We're all talking about content creation, card games, anything that interests you, and and if we can tie it into Gwent, it's perfect, right?
Yeah, people talk to him, write to
Thank
him.
you.
Don't be mad.
Now
Don't
I
be
have
mad.
your endorsement. Yeah. Hopefully, yeah, in the next couple weeks, we'll have more, Spanish and Latin content creators. So I'm really happy to do that, because I know that you guys have an amazing, big, growing community of very passionate people. So totally feel free to reach out, and yeah, let's sit down and talk.
Yeah. Also, let me say goodbye in Spanish.
Of course. Hasta luego.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la
No.
vista.
No, quería decir gracias a toda la gente en español que está aquí, está en el chat. No los puedo leer ahora, voy a ver el video después. Muchas gracias a todos. Les mando un abrazo desde aquí, Peluchón y Peluchito.
Peluchito.
Ah, yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, muchas
I
gracias.
see you around.
Muchas
Hope we
gracias a
can,
todo. That's such a nice. It's such a nice. It rolls very nice off the tongue.
yeah, hope we can talk other time.
Yeah, exactly. Freshen up my Spanish a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. I
Yeah,
will wait.
awesome. Cool. All right. Thank you once again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you everybody for watching and for the support. Take care, and we will see you next week with the next guest. Bye bye.